G'day, welcome back to the channel and welcome to this edition of MGUY EV News for Wednesday the 12th of June 2024. Please make sure you're subscribed and do make sure you've enabled all notifications so you never miss another video. So first up, Tesla's getting a bit desperate to shift some cars, so it's throwing in some free charging. Tesla UK announces 15,000 miles of free supercharging. Tesla UK has announced a new promotion designed to incentivize customers to take delivery of inventory vehicles before the end of the second quarter, because most of them are now sitting on windswept docks getting battered by the rain and seeing their batteries decline before they've even taken delivery. As per the electric vehicle maker in a post on social media platform X, UK customers who take delivery before July the 1st, 2024 are eligible to receive 15,000 miles of free supercharging. While Tesla UK did not post the full details of its free supercharging promotion on X, it would appear that the offer covers inventory vehicles. This was hinted at in an email from the company that's been shared on social media. As per Tesla's message, the ongoing offer is only valid while stocks are available. Following is the message from the EV maker: 15,000 miles of free supercharging when you take delivery before 1st July. The freedom to travel anywhere. With superchargers placed on convenient routes across the country and Europe, you can go anywhere with Tesla. Just enter a destination and Trip Planner will automatically route you to charging options along the way. I mean, seriously, why would you want to plan your route according to charging stations? How long is it since we've had to plan our car trips based on fuel stations? Like, ever? Did we ever have to do that? No, but apparently it's okay with EVs. Apparently we just have to step back in time and put up with something that's actually worse than what we've got at the moment. No wonder they have to give away free electricity. So for those of you who saw my main video today about the absolute fantasy that is the transition to EVs and net zero by 2050, due to lack of raw materials and problems with the grid capacity, here's another article which encapsulates it perfectly. EV mandates and copper mining bans are mutually exclusive. Yes, they are. As global governments push for a rapid transition to electric vehicles and to wind and solar power, they are creating a demand for copper that threatens to undermine the very goals they seek to achieve. According to a recent International Energy Forum report, electrifying the global vehicle fleet would require the opening of 55% more new copper mines than are already needed, and twice the total amount of copper that has ever been mined throughout human history over the next 3 decades. Global demand for copper is expected to double by 2035. That gives the advantage to China because it controls 44% of the world's refined copper supply, more than 6 times the next biggest supplier. But even with all China's copper, the world is still falling short. The recent attempted merger between mining giants BHP and Anglo American highlights the growing demand for copper. BHP, one of the world's largest mining companies, wanted Anglo American's $35 billion in copper assets, but failed in 2 merger attempts, the latest for $50 billion. Professor Adam C. Simon of the University of Michigan, one of the authors of the International Energy Forum report, argues that mining should be recognized as essential and exploration and responsible copper mine development strongly encouraged. Since copper is a core component in electronics, raising the cost of copper makes it far more difficult for developing areas of the world to access energy. Copper is a crucial component in electric vehicles. A typical EV requires nearly 200 pounds of copper, or about 4 times the amount needed for a combustion engine vehicle. And the environmentalists won't want any new copper mines opened. So just try and work that one out. How we're going to complete this EV transition and net zero transition by 2050 without enough copper. Answers on a postcard. This story just makes me sad. Who would buy an electric Ferrari? I mean, seriously. Why would you bother? Why would you bother? Ferrari's first electric car will have an authentic roar, exec says. How exactly? Marketing director Emanuele Carando says the right sound can be just as important as performance. Yeah, of course it is. That's why people hate electric cars. That's why, real petrol heads hate electric cars. There's no engagement. There's no involvement. It's sterile. It's boring. Expect Ferrari's first EV to make some noise, literally. The storied Italian marque wants enthusiasts to know that its first battery-powered model will be a true prancing horse. No, it won't. It absolutely will not. And just because the car won't have a combustion engine under the hood doesn't mean it won't produce a roar drivers have come to expect from the brand over the decades. Yes, it will be fake. It will be a fake noise. Like that stupid Ioniq 5, that Hyundai Ioniq 5N that makes stupid noises and has a fake paddle shifty gearbox thing, even though there's no gearbox. I mean, seriously, why bother? Ferrari's first EV remains on pace to debut late next year. Little is known about the project at this point, but in a recent interview with Drive, the company's product marketing and marketing intelligence director, Emanuele Carando, said it is intent on building a vehicle that produces the same sensation as one of its sports cars. Whenever we talk about a car, we talk about the driving thrills, which is a combination of power, force, weight, brakes and sound, the executive told the Australian publication. The marque isn't interested in building a new kind of Ferrari. It wants to build a true prancing horse, just with an electric powertrain. Oh, seriously. So depressing. And yet more news from Detroit and GM on the slowdown of EV plans for these huge car makers. They can see that the demand's not there, so they've got to scale back production. GM lowers EV production targets amid slow demand, says EVs will show variable profit. General Motors is pulling back on its electric vehicle production target this year and adjusting the timing on its profit targets because demand for EVs is not growing at the pace initially expected, or the pace initially promised by governments who are living in a fantasy world of delusion. GM CFO Paul Jacobson said Tuesday that GM would trim its targeted production of its new EVs in 2024 from between 200 to 300,000 to between 200 to 250,000. Okay. Jacobson said GM still believes it can be variable profit positive on its EVs at the low 200,000 production range. GM promised investors earlier this year that it would show variable profit in EVs by the second half of the year. Variable profit is when the revenue GM earns from selling the vehicle exceeds the direct cost of producing it. The calculation excludes corporate or fixed costs, measuring only the costs that go into the car and the revenue earned from the car directly. Yeah, so it's a fake number, in other words. Yeah, well, just more evidence that the EV market is slowing down. Nobody wants the bloody things. So there might be some good news for the EV zealots, because Norway has discovered some rare earth minerals, which is quite interesting. Norway discovers Europe's largest deposit of rare earth metals. The discovery is considered a welcome boost in Europe's bid to break China's rare earth dominance, which we wouldn't need to worry about if it weren't for this stupid frickin' net zero transition that we're trying to do. Mining firm Rare Earths Norway says it has discovered Europe's largest proven deposit of highly prized rare earth elements, potentially reflecting a watershed moment for both the Nordic country and the broader region. One of the few deposits not owned or controlled by China, the discovery of continental Europe's largest rare earth deposit is considered a welcome boost in Europe's bid to break China's rare earths dominance. Demand for rare earths and critical minerals is expected to grow exponentially in the coming years as the clean energy transition picks up pace, or slows to a crawl, whichever way you look at it. Rare Earths Norway said in a June 6 statement that a mineral resource estimate at its Fen carbonatite complex in the southeast of the country boasts 8.8 million metric tons of total rare earth oxides, TREOs, with a reasonable prospect for economic extraction. Probably 10 years or more down the track, that is. Within the TREOs, which are considered vital to the global shift away from fossil fuels, the company says there is an estimated 1.5 million metric tons of magnet-related rare earths which can be used in electric vehicles and wind turbines. Jolly, jolly good. Okay, that's it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye for now.